Where are they gone?
I don't know.
You don't know? So who ate them all?
Someone come round and they just ate them all.
Someone come around and ate the cakes?
Yeah.
So someone broke into a home and ate Mr. Kipling's Angel Slices. Didn't take the TV, didn't take, you know, some jewellery. They took these cakes.
And it was a black man.
Early light. What? You're not done. You're not done.
Okay, I am.
Take a seat.
What?
So proudly we hail by the twilight's last streaming, whose bright stripes and Next. I'm not done. Next. Then I pick you out. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Don't touch me.
No.
This? No, Miss G.
Okay.
Miss G. Or the parts we want.
Umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. Now, the slave codes have been around as long as America. In fact, it's older than America. The slave codes were created 100 years before America even existed. But America was built on and around these codes. They were created to criminalize black people, specifically black men. They based their racism off of us being savages. We just walk around all day with our low IQs brutalizing each other. Like how they say, well, black people commit 50% of the crime. No, black people are convicted of 50% of the crime. But they use those talking points to justify racially profiling us. And there are plenty of black people that co-sign and say, yeah, well, what about black on black crime? We can't be worried about the police. Look at Chicago. When in reality, they don't even have any suspects. For all we know, it could be white people or undercover cops. It's not like it'll be the first time in history that happened. But they use those talking points to justify their own savage brutality. It's classic projection. And they've always used the same old talking points. They're not really creative to come up with new talking points. During slavery, they could kill us, beat us. And their court system said it was justified. But a black person knowing how to read is a criminal. After the 13th Amendment, they passed laws like peonage, which means they can put you in prison over debt. And when they put you to work, because the 13th Amendment says after you're convicted of a crime, you're a slave, they charge you more for being locked up than you made doing hard labor. So you would never get out of prison. They created vagerency laws, where they made it illegal for you to be homeless. America made it illegal for us to be poor after they took everything away from us and created a system to keep us in poverty. They burnt your house down, burnt your job down, wouldn't give you a job, and then arrested you for being poor. And I don't know what year Jim Crow ended, even though it did stop being as overt as it was. But we still see examples of the vagrancy law in effect today. In Los Angeles, the place with the most homeless people. And it's because of many different reasons. But the majority of those homeless people are black people. A young 21-year-old homeless brother, Jonathan Hart, who was unarmed, was shot to death by a security guard in Wal-Greens. So let's go back and see how this young brother ended up getting shot by a security guard.
Detectives in Hollywood tonight are still sorting out a deadly shooting inside a Hollywood Wal-Greens store. A security guard opened fire on a homeless man he suspected was shoplifting, but some people say the shooting was unnecessary. Tonight, KCAL 9's Chris Holmstrom is live in Hollywood with an update for us. Chris.
Yeah, I just spoke with the twin sister of the man who was shot and killed inside this Wal-Greens. She says he's 21-year-old Jonathan Hart, but she still has so many questions as to what happened, and she's demanding answers from the LAPD.
not touch him.
Cell phone video shows a man identified by friends as Sky, who they say was shot and killed by a security guard at this busy Hollywood Wal-Greens. Many customers had no idea why the store was closed.
This is shocking, like, poor guy.
This guy was with Sky when the shooting happened. He says the guard went up to him and accused him of stealing items. He said Sky pushed the guard, they argued, then the guard pulled out the gun.
He saw him, the security guard reaching, and then he just shot him. Yes, and he had a taser too. I don't know why didn't use his taser.
His friends say Sky tried to make a run for it, and it was one shot that killed him. This man, who did not want to be identified, has been living on the streets of Hollywood for years. He says it's not uncommon for security guards to carry guns.
It's scary. That's what I think. Most of them aren't qualified. He should have just went in the back room with him, given him his ID and his name, and he would have got kicked out of here, that's all.
The LAPD would not go into detail about what happened, but they say they are investigating how this escalated from a simple theft to a deadly incident. At this point, no charges have been filed against the security guard. As for why the guard had a gun, that too is unknown, but experts in the security business say as long as the security guards are properly licensed by the state, they can carry weapons, and oftentimes do. And Wal-Greens released a statement that reads in part, "We are deeply concerned about this incident and the loss of life. We're gathering facts and fully cooperating with law enforcement in the ongoing investigation of the incident. The safety and security of all of our customers and employees is our top priority." As for the family, they plan on having a vigil out here in Hollywood tomorrow afternoon.
So this young brother was minding his own business in Wal-Greens when out of nowhere a security guard came up and accused him of stealing. And people that try to justify it say, well, he was homeless, he was suspicious. But many black people have had the same experience, homeless or not. Hell, they wouldn't even let Oprah in the store because they thought she was going to steal. Now, according to the family lawyer, this brother Joshua Hart and the same security guard got into it earlier, probably because he was following them around the store. And his lawyer said he even spoke to the store manager about it. And then he went on about his business and kept shopping. So after the security guard started accusing him of stealing, the brother Jonathan Hart got upset, which I understand. And then him and the security guard pushed each other. So then the security guard reaches for his gun, and that's when Jonathan take off running trying to get out of the store. Now, mind you, a security guard is never supposed to open fire, especially if somebody is running away from you and is unarmed and not posing an immediate threat. They're supposed to call the cops like everybody else. But this security guard chose to pull his gun out and shoot this brother, hitting him in the neck, killing him.
An accused shoplifter is killed inside a Hollywood drugstore, but questions are being raised about the security guard who pulled the trigger. Some people are asking why the guard had a gun in the first place.
And we have cell phone video that may give detectives some crucial clues.
CBS 2's Dave Lopez is live at the Wal-Greens in Hollywood tonight. Dave.
Well, Pat, this Wal-Greens is right in the middle of Hollywood. Sunset and Vine is still closed. It'll reopen tomorrow. You can see a number of people inside. Investigators have long gone. They have also taken security video. And you asked the poignant question, why does a security guard in this type of setting have a weapon? We couldn't get an answer to that. We can tell you the man who was killed, we have been told, is homeless. He also suffered from schizophrenia. And the security guard has fully cooperated and has not been arrested.
Is he going to be all right?
Cell phone video shows a man identified by friends as Sky, who they say was unarmed, slumped on the floor of a Wal-Greens at the corner of Sunset and Vine in Hollywood. Witnesses, at least 5, told detectives the man had been shot by a security guard inside the store. Sky was rushed to the hospital where he later died. You plainly saw the gun.
Yes, and he had a taser too. I don't know why didn't use his taser.
Nathan, who shot the cell phone video, did not want to give his last name. He said he was with Sky when the security guard went up to him and accused him of trying to steal items. He said Sky pushed the security guard. They argued, and then
he saw him, the security guard reaching, and then he just shot him.
How many shots were fired? One shot?
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
Sky turned around to make a dart for the door.
This woman, who said she's a friend of Sky and was with him, told the same story. Sky shoved the security guard, went running toward the door, and was shot while running away.
Sir,
Do not touch him.
The cell phone video shows a security guard leaning over Sky, and then he yells for people to get away.
Back up.
We don't know if that's a security guard who did the shooting, and we wanted to know, why is a security guard armed inside a store like this? LAPD wouldn't answer that question either. However, experts we talked to in the security business said as long as the security guard are properly licensed by the state, they can carry weapons, and oftentimes do, depending upon where they work. The only requirement by state law, that weapon must be clearly visible. It cannot be concealed.
Oh, the gun is exposed. It's on his hip.
B told me he goes into this Wal-Greens almost every day, and he often sees the security guard with his weapon. Another customer told me the crime rate in this store is high.
But I see guys come out here with like arm loads full of stuff, just walk out the door.
LAPD confirms Sky did not have a weapon. His friends say he wasn't stealing. And there is security video inside the store that the LAPD has. And of course, that video has not been released. This statement late this afternoon from Wal-Greens, which reads in part, "We're deeply concerned about this incident and the loss of life. We're gathering facts and fully cooperating with law enforcement in the ongoing investigation of the incident. The safety and security of all our customers and employees is our top priority." Again, no mention about the security of the security guard, why he had a weapon in the first place, how long he's worked here with a weapon, and how long he's been licensed to carry that weapon. All those questions unanswered.
Now, according to the security guard, he yelled freeze, but when his brother didn't comply fast enough, he said he was left with no other choice but to open fire. Now, since 1672, it has been legal to kill a black person resisting arrest. And since then, it probably hasn't been 100 people convicted of killing black people during an arrest, regardless of the circumstance, or even if they didn't deserve to be arrested at all. Of course, they're going to deputize the security guard in this situation. It's easy to be a cop. It's even easier to be a security guard. A security guard might as well be a sworn-in officer when it comes to a black homeless man, especially if he's young. Meanwhile, we see black security guards or even off-duty black cops get shot and killed for trying to stop an active shooter. But this security guard armed at Wal-Greens, like he protecting a Wells Fargo safe or something, shot this unarmed homeless brother in the neck and killed him. He wasn't shoplifting. He was unarmed. The police told his family he had his ID in his hand when he got shot. But he was guilty of the crime of vagrancy. So they protect the security guard. They won't even release his name. And of course they do their best to make every excuse to justify the shooting.
Well, it's quite an emotional news conference today by the attorney Carl Douglas. I'm standing right outside his law office, and he makes no doubt about it. He said this should have never happened, and that's why he's asking for such a large amount of money. He's also demanding that District Attorney Jackie Lacey charge the man who has not been publicly named, and he has not been arrested or charged yet. He says that a crime was committed, and all we're getting from the DA's office when we ask what the status is that it's under investigation. But here's Mr. Douglas today.
John was not shoplifting when he was shot.
John is Jonathan Hart, also known as Sky to many of his friends. And the attorney representing his family, Carl Douglas, says that because Hart was shot while unarmed inside a Wal-Greens in Hollywood, he's demanding for his family $525 million in damages.
Is he going to be all right?
Cell phone video taken moments after the shooting.
Back up.
The armed security guard who shot him said that Hart was shoplifting and that Hart had shoved him. Douglas said Hart and the guard shoved each other once. Hart started to run. The guard yelled, "Freeze," as he pointed his gun, and Hart continued running towards the door.
The guard fires one shot, striking the man in the back of the neck.
Douglas says the autopsy he's seen proves that. As Douglas was talking, behind him, Hart's twin sister broke down in tears.
This is a case of a civil rights violation, and we are calling for a boycott of Wal-Greens.
Douglas was highly critical of Wal-Greens' policy that he alleges places armed security guards only in neighborhoods frequented by minorities and the homeless.
I dare say where the mothers of the Wal-Greens executive shop, I'll bet there's no armed guards there.
Wal-Greens confirmed that the security company employed at the Sunset and Vine store and the security guard who did the shooting have been fired. No other comment.
This is his family,
who surrounded Douglas and chose not to answer any questions. And Douglas made it clear that Hart had a loving family and he was homeless by choice, trying to find himself is how he put it.
I gave this family a pledge that Jonathan Hart will not have died in vain.
Again, late this afternoon, Wal-Greens issued another statement saying that they are cooperating fully, would make no other comments whatsoever. As for the reason for so much money, the attorney said, because we have to get their attention.
Now, the DA and the police spokesman, Drake Madison, said they're still investigating. Wal-Greens blamed the security company and fired them. But this isn't Wal-Greens' first incident. In 2008, Wal-Greens had to settle a racial discrimination lawsuit. They had to pay $24 million to 10,000 black people for racial discrimination. Wal-Greens isn't new to this. But what I don't understand is, where's the outrage from the LBGTQ community? Right? They have time to be upset about people's jokes from 10 years ago that they already apologized for. But I rarely hear them speak out about black people who are gay that get shot. This brother Jonathan Hart was in the LBGTQ community, but I haven't heard one person speak out about that. Do you know how many racist gay people there are? They don't get a pass. America never passed no gay codes. They may not have been able to get married, but our marriages wasn't even recognized in America for the longest time. And the problem is, they feel as though they can check us. And every time something happens or somebody says something, then they're upset. But if a black person is murdered, whether he's gay or not, you don't hear a word. While they look for black comedians to be mad at, they should be upset about this unarmed gay person who was shot by a security guard in Wal-Greens because he was accused of stealing, which he wasn't. Which is a stereotype that goes with being black, not being gay. But those aren't the stereotypes that they're mad at. But name a time in America where a straight black man has had more privilege than a gay white man or a straight black woman. There are white people in the LBGTQ community that enjoy white privilege and practice racism like everybody else. And they want us to condemn our own for words when they won't even condemn their own for actions. I'm not concerned about movements from white people that claim they're oppressed. There are gay black people. I'm more concerned about them being racially profiled because they're black before they're gay. I'm not worried about white women because my concern is black women. They are seen as black before they are as women in this country. At the end of the day, we all we got. And until we get on code, it's going to continue to be the way it is.
A case of possible racial profiling at Wal-Greens. 2 women say they were unfairly searched because of their race. Local 10 News reporter Todd Tongan live now at the store in Miramar with more for us today. Todd.
Calvin, literally just moments ago, I received the informational report from Miramar Police from that Tuesday night incident. And in it, it says that they received a call about a shoplifting in progress. When they got here, the manager was outside and told them a store employee saw these 2 women putting items in their big purses and then trying to avoid security. But when they were approached as they came out of the store, that just wasn't the case. And the women say that the Wal-Greens employees zeroed in on them the moment they stepped foot in the store.
They instantly grabbed her purse out of her hand and was like, come with us. Before they even looked in the plastic bags of stuff we bought, they threw her purse on the ground and started just going through her purse.
Crystal Davis and her business partner Santana Neal say they were wrongly accused of shoplifting from this Wal-Greens on Miramar Parkway and University Drive, and they believe the Wal-Greens manager may have racially profiled them.
And as soon as we walked in the store, we kept hearing the alerts, the security check the floor, security check the floor. Whoever alerted for security check the floor definitely profiled us, maybe in a racial standpoint.
They say Miramar Police didn't ask them any questions and the manager didn't have proof of a crime.
And it's like, wait, what? You saw us pay for all these items on camera and you're still coming after us? It was scary. And then
the women say the 3 Miramar police officers escalated the situation by thoroughly searching one of their purses in public, but police say they had permission.
And I'm communicating to the officers, this is really embarrassing, that we even have to be going through this right now. You have the bags, you have the receipt, and you're opening up lip gloss.
The women posted on social media saying just being racially profiled at Wal-Greens because they don't want it to happen to anyone else.
They weren't helpful. They weren't remorseful. The officers were just like, you're free to go.
Yeah, no apologies.
No apologies. And in a world that we live in today where we're supposed to be so progressive, that really hurt.
Miramar police insist that they had permission to search that purse. They also say they didn't conduct the search in private because the women were not being arrested. They weren't taken into custody. Meanwhile, we've reached out to Wal-Greens multiple times today. They say they're aware of the issue, that they're looking into it, and they told me they'd have a statement for us, but so far, nothing.
She's an attorney for the city of Detroit, heading up their Civil Rights and Ethics Division.
And now she claims she's fallen victim to racial profiling as she was shopping in the suburbs.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig is live in Grosse Pointe where the embarrassing situation took place. Kim, fill us in.
Well, it happened yesterday here at this Talbot's, and what happened inside left this seasoned attorney who has actually prosecuted actual criminals embarrassed and shaking.
Well, we responded to a request for Grosse Pointe City under a mutual aid agreement to investigate a potential shoplifter at Talbot's.
It was the last thing she expected, to be accused of shoplifting. So was it racial profiling? You be the judge. Yesterday afternoon around 3:30, Portia Roberson, well known in Detroit's legal and political circles, walked into Talbot's here on Kirchville in Grosse Pointe to return 2 items she purchased online. She told the clerk about the returns, but said she wanted to look around first. Roberson tried on some pants, and when she was walking out of the fitting room, there were 2 police officers there asking to search her bag. On her Facebook page, Roberson wrote, quote, "I tell them to go ahead and search and point out the items and the receipt. He tells me it is clear that someone made a mistake and then takes my bag to the store manager to point out that everything that I have in my possession I have purchased."
The officers talked to her. She was very cooperative. It was very short to the point. She was returning some items, had receipts, and we cleared.
Portia Roberson is a former Wayne County assistant prosecutor who has worked in Washington, D.C. for the Department of Justice. And the irony that she might be the victim of racial profiling is that this year, this daughter of a now retired judge was appointed to lead Detroit's new Department of Civil Rights and Ethics. On her Facebook page, Roberson said her heartache over the embarrassing situation wasn't really about her, but that if it could happen to her, it could happen to others who might not know how to handle the situation, and report it to Talbot's corporate headquarters. Action News contacted Talbot's, and a spokesperson issued the following statement that in part reads, quote, "We take the claims made by Ms. Roberson very seriously, and we are currently investigating all aspects of the incident. We acknowledge that the police should not have been called and acknowledge that Ms. Roberson's personal belongings should not have been searched. This action was contrary to Talbot's policies and practices and was an isolated incident that does not reflect the Talbot's culture. All customers are welcome in our stores." And Portia Roberson was not available for comment today, but we understand that Talbot's CEO reached out to her directly and apologized.
We were having a conversation.
And if
we were having a conversation. What did we say? It's gonna be on Twitter, exactly what did we say?
I'll just say please repeat what we said.
What did we say?
You were talking about sex in public.
What exactly did we say? What exactly did we say?
Because that's how you acting.
What exactly did we say?
Sex in public?
I mean, that's what you're.
That's what you screamed out loud.
I said
that you were having sex in public.
No,
that is not what we said.
Where is your hearing aid today, honey? Because you're not hearing real good.
I said, Tara, try this on because this looks like something Eartha. She said, I don't want to be compared to Eartha Kitt because she had sex.
This is what you guys
That's
do.
what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. What
this
did we
woman
say
any longer,
specifically?
please. I want us to stop
Okay,
engaging
well,
with
come
this
on.
woman.
Let's stop.
Let's have finish yes, with the hat. Let's stop engaging with her, please. Let's stop.
She can't hear.
Thank you.
That's very clear.
I understand you're an abuser.
Stop.
I understand you're abusive.
Stop
I understand you're abusive and you make up lies on the spot. I understand.
I understand that you're ignorant.
Don't let me be abusive. Yes, name call me. Call me. Keep telling me I'm ignorant. Keep telling me. Name call me. I'm gonna write. Should I write it down? Should I write down all the negative things that you guys have said about me already in our interaction?
No, she's the microaggression.
Personal attacks. I didn't realize that personal attacks were normal. I also didn't realize that talking about sex in public was normal. I didn't realize all these things.
Stop talking, child. Stop talking.
Go get some.
Please stop talking to this lady. Yeah, we have a problem.
No,
yes,
she needs to
ma'am.
move on.
We were standing here talking, and I made a reference to Eartha Kitt. No, I can't. Ma'am, I can't. I made a reference to Eartha Kitt, and my friend said, I don't want to be compared to Eartha Kitt because she had sex in the movie with. And then she
specifically
So
say.
she
It's
said.
okay. I know you're trained online. I know you're trained liar.
Yeah.
I know you're trained liars.
See,
Good job.
Good job. No, yes, we are together.
You're perfect for the court system. You guys should all go to court.
But now we're perfect for the court system.
Because you're trained liars.
We asked her to move. We said, please leave. And then she attacked us.
Actually, they said they were going to leave. They actually said they were going to leave. And when I said good, that I was glad that they were leaving because they were.
Howdy, Texas Highway Patrol. The reason for your stop there, you swerved. Is it? Are you? Yes, over on the shoulder. Are you paying attention to me or?
I don't think I swerved.
Okay. You got your driver's license with you? Where you headed to today? Headed home. Okay. Where's home at?
I don't want you in my vehicle.
Okay.
For the record, I do not want Officer Sergeant
Trooper
Smith to search my vehicle.
Okay.
Do not want Trooper Smith in my vehicle.
Okay. All right. Wait right back down there. Is your car locked?
Yes.
Let me see your keys.
No, you said how much?
For my safety, I'm fixing to put your hands behind your back, okay?
No.
Listen, for my safety, I'm fixing to take your keys, okay? I'm going to place them on my car. I'm not getting into your car, okay? I'm not getting into your car. That's for my
keys?
I'm going to make sure you're not going to drive off, okay? What kind of work you do? Okay. What kind of attorney are you? Criminal attorney? How long you been doing that for?
Since I was 10 years in November.
10, sir?
I said it's going to be 10 years in November.
Okay. All right. So because what you're saying is you just don't want me to look in your car just because. It's not that you're hiding anything?
No, I'm not hiding anything. I'm just exercising my rights. You know, I mean, you would agree that I haven't done anything wrong.
Yes, sir. You drove on the improved shoulder.
Well, I did not. Which one is the improved shoulder?
Right here.
And I came all the way over here.
Yes, sir.
When? Like, right there or all the way back there when I see you?
Do what now?
I said, right there or all the way back there when I see you?
2 times. All the way back there when you saw me, like you said, you was looking at me.
No,
people, when they look, they do lose the steering in their car, and you'll see them lead to the right or to the left.
All the way on the shoulder.
And then when I got up here and I was running you.
Because I'm black?
Nope.
Nope. Come on, man. I ain't no way I came all the way on the shoulder, man.
Okay.
But I understand. I mean, most people in authority positions, they don't like it when someone exercises their rights.
No, why would I not like that?
I don't know.
That's perfectly fine.
It should be.
Yes, and that is perfectly fine.
It should be.
But when someone asks to look in the vehicle or search the vehicle right there, and someone refuses, I would say a very high percentage of the time there's a reason why they don't want us to look in the vehicle. What I did is I called for a canine. Canine will come to the location, do a free air search around the car. I don't know what the dog. I'm not trained to tell you what the dog is or is not out of. Okay, all right. And I'm telling because I find it extremely unusual and suspicious that your demeanor.
I don't think my demeanor is wrong, but I mean that's cool. I'm not in a rush.
For the reason why I stopped you, it's a warning. No fines, no penalties, nothing goes on your driving record at all, okay? Get you the sign right there.
The last few hours, we learned that 2 Minneapolis police officers are on paid leave for allegedly decorating a Christmas tree at the 4th Precinct with a bunch of items that are viewed as racist. We have not been able to determine the authenticity or origin of this picture, but you can see it shows a tree decorated with menthol cigarettes, crime tape, malt liquor, Takis, and a cup from Popeye's Chicken. The situation adds insult to injury for a community already working to repair a fractured relationship with police. And tonight, both community activists and city leaders say more work needs to be done. Danny Spiewak is live outside the 4th Precinct with their responses. Danny?
Well, Julie, the photo from this 4th precinct first surfaced early this morning on both Facebook and on Twitter. And within hours, the NAACP chapter here, as well as a group of other community activists, were calling and demanding action from both the city of Minneapolis and the police department. And we've learned tonight 2 officers have been pulled off duty, still being